Know your topic. That is so important. People want to come feeling secure that you, the presenter, are educated enough about the topic. They don't want to feel that their time is wasted with someone who doesn't know the topic. We've all sat through presentations where we have asked ourselves, why is this guy speaking? He doesn't know what he's talking about. So it is very important when giving a presentation that you are familiar and comfortable with your topic. Be interesting. That is so important. People want to come and be engaged in a presentation. They want to feel like they have walked away knowing something exciting and important and want to use it, because a presentation is only beneficial in the end if people incorporate it into their actual existence. Communicate effectively. Ask your audience questions about their knowledge level of the topic. You don't want your presentation to be over the head of the individual, but you also don't want to speak to a group of experts on a level that is inappropriate as well. So know your audience, know their strengths, know their weaknesses, and use visual aids. Visual aids are so important. Don't make them crazy overblown. I've attended presentations where the background was bright yellow, blinding to the eye. And I've also attended presentations where they used orange fonts and blue fonts and purple fonts. And instead of being visually engaging, it was painful to look at. So you want to use font that can be seen by all. And the importance of visual aids also is that people will remember what you're telling them. If they can see it, they can visualize it more than just hearing it. Okay? So, any questions about that topic? Yes? No? Okay. All right, well then we're going to go to the next page, which is dress for your audience and your presentation. And I think most people are familiar with these two. We've got Kat Von D, a world famous tattoo artist, and Bill Clinton. And this is where dressing appropriately is so important. If you were at the United Nations, who would you want to listen to? Kat Von D or Bill Clinton? In this case, Bill Clinton is a more appropriate choice. But if you're listening to a speech on the importance or value of body art, then Kat Von D would be a better choice. And in this case, she would be addressed appropriately for that. So with the
I have a question.
Yes.
What if you don't know exactly what your audience is going to be wearing? If it's just kind of open to the general public?
My advice is to touch base with whoever is coordinating at the company, find out what their business environment is, and dress appropriately for their work environment. I have seen presentations where people have worn suits in a business casual environment, and I've seen people show up in business casual for suit environments. So it's really best to touch base with whoever's coordinating the meeting with.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And which goes actually right into our next one, which is presentation attire. Regardless of how you dress, business casual or in a suit, you want to convey an image of professionalism. You want the audience wants to know that you know what you're talking about and you live it as well. So dress for your audience in your presentation, and that goes back to, if you're unsure, coordinate with the person who at the company you're working with. Dressing well inspires confidence and security. And some basic grooming and dress guidelines are, again, dress professionally. Make sure your belt and shoes match, and polish your shoes. And I know that last one sounds crazy, but you would have no idea how important it is, because you've seen me today, and if I came in shoes with holes in them, you would say, well, I, as the presenter, look professional until you saw my feet. So keep your shoes polished. It conveys a real sense of professionalism. Have a professional haircut and style, and keep cologne and perfume to the bare minimum. You never know what kind of environment you're going to be in, and there are people with allergies and sensitivities, so you need to be considerate of that. And no body odor, including mouth odor. So one thing I do before every presentation is I brush my teeth. No one else may notice it, but I feel better with that little tingle of freshness in my mouth. And again, cover your tattoos unless you're Kat Von D and giving a speech on body art. And remove or cover your piercings. Other than earrings, and women, you don't want to go into a presentation and have 7 piercings in your ear. Keep it to a bare minimum. It will convey a better sense of professionalism. And finally, remember that just because you wear an article of clothing out in public doesn't mean it's appropriate in the office or for a presentation. Okay, any questions about that? All right. We're going to move on to be considerate of your audience's time, which basically means be respectful. Remember that your time is just as valuable as their time. Try not to schedule presentations and meetings that are disruptive to the work environment, meaning you don't want to schedule a meeting at 8 a.m. because you're probably going to have some cranky workers who are just getting to work and want to get organized, get a cup of coffee before they start. Don't schedule a meeting at lunch unless you're providing lunch, because people get cranky when their lunch hour is messed with. And generally after 3:30, 4 o'clock, people are focusing on wrapping up their work day, finishing whatever projects need to be done, getting out the door, and they don't want to schedule time for a meeting. And then think again about your time. If you have 1 hour allotted for your meeting, don't run over, because again, your time is just as valuable as your coworkers. And also, when I say be respectful of your audience's time, take religious considerations in as well. I know I used to work at a company where we had Muslim employees who prayed 5 times a day. And we had a supervisor who would invariably schedule the meetings during prayer time. And it was very difficult because we'd have a group of people who would miss part of the meeting while they were praying, and we had a supervisor who didn't understand the significance of that, and it created a lot of hard feelings. So when scheduling meetings, really try to think globally as well with your audience time. And don't schedule a company-wide meeting at 8 a.m. if some of your people are on the West Coast and it's 6 a.m. in the morning. They're not going to be very happy about that either. Okay? So, finally, we're going to move to engage your audience. Oh, yay, claps, thanks. So, with engaging your audience, we're going to, just to recap, engage them through games like we did today. Get to know you. So now everybody here has taken away some factoid about everybody else that they may not have known before, and if nothing else, y'all have all met new people. Have a Q&A like we did with what do you like and dislike about presentations. And make it meaningful. As I said earlier in the presentation, you want to answer these important questions of what's in it for me and why should I care? And hopefully I've done that with all of you today. And another important way of engaging your audience is through your body language. We don't realize necessarily how we're standing and presenting ourselves, and how our body language can convey a message that is not necessarily reflective of what we're feeling. So always try to keep a smile on your face, keep it light, and if I was standing here with my arms crossed, you guys would think that I was probably pretty mad or hostile, and that's not the image I want to convey. So think about your body language. And then humor. Always incorporate a little bit of humor. Try to get a smile on your audience's face. Make them chuckle. Even if they don't laugh out loud, I can see some of you right now have smiles on your face, and that's great. That's what we're going for. And then, as I said, we've got your notes, so hopefully you guys have been taking some notes. All right, well that brings us to the conclusion of my presentation. So let's open it up to questions. Does anybody have any? Wow, lots of questions. All right, what about you, Noah?
Would you advise chewing gum during a presentation?
Actually, I would not. But I see that one of our audience members is chewing gum. I've been watching him blow some amazing bubbles. But why don't you come on up here and let's talk about that for just a minute. What's your name?
Kai.
Kai, all right. Well, let's just take a look at him real quick and see how he's chewing gum. Now, if I was trying to give a presentation while chewing gum, can you see how distracting that would be? Because not only are you seeing the gum, but you're hearing the smacking.
And if memory serves, it would be hard to talk while chewing gum.
That is so true. But the gum smells delicious. I may actually get a piece from him after a while. So thank you so much, Kai, for coming on up. That was pretty brave. Are there any, yes?
Well, I have a question about humor, because you mentioned that, keep a sense of humor, incorporate humor. What about jokes? I don't do a very good job of telling jokes.
That is a terrific question. I do not believe in jokes during a presentation. First of all, not many people can tell a good joke. I'm one of them, so I don't tell jokes. Also, you never know when a joke may unwittingly offend somebody, and you don't want to offend your audience right off the bat. So I steer clear of jokes. And I feel like if I have a smile on my face and the audience is smiling and chuckling and laughing, then they're playing off me, I'm playing off them, and the presentation is going really well, and there's no jokes involved. All right, are there any other questions? Yes?
What if a person was doing a presentation and a famous guest star came in and they got really nervous and paused?
Well, you know what? Even now, I get very nervous. And in fact, as many of you can see, my boss, Louie, has stepped in and is reviewing me now. And it's so hard. Louie the dog, everybody. Yeah! All right. So, it can be very nerve-wracking to have Louie in a presentation because his attention span can be pretty short. So, to recap, as you guys return to the real world, the things I want you to remember are presentation etiquette involves 4 things. Educating your audience by communicating clearly and effectively. Dressing for your presentation and your audience. Number 3, be considerate of the time. And 4, engage your audience. I hope that I have met all of those expectations today. And before you leave, if each of you could fill out the presentation summary, I would really appreciate it. Thank you all and have a great day. Thank you all.
Okay.
I actually wasn't planning on getting Louie the dog.
I have one more.
I'm not sure how it worked, but I couldn't because I couldn't really see. But I think it would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
I have one last statement.
Yes.
After when you finished, you have to call on me and I said, Louie told me that he would give your project a thumbs up. Whee!
Well, I do need y'all to fill out these because these are part of my grade.
Do we have to fill out 8 of them?
No, you don't. But I'll fill out the rest.
Don't take out the Louie my boss part.
I'm giving the entire team kudos. That was a great job.
Especially for Louie the boss. Good job, Louie. Good job.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That is hard.
It is.
Well, it's particularly hard.
Oh, we're still recording. Oh my God, I hope you did not record any of that.